Welcome to Creepy and Geeky. I'm your host, Robert, and on today's episode, I'm talking to Donna from the Dawn of the Dead podcast about the Fantastic Four First Steps. But first, she and I are talking about all the newest stuff. How's it going, Donna?
Hey Robert, it is going well. I am
Good.
surviving as best as I can. And I
Same.
I was so excited to talk to you today just because you know me, I don't really go to a lot of movies. So
Yeah.
anytime I can talk to you about actual movies that are new is
Yes.
like such a bonus for me.
Absolutely agreed. Yeah, no, I love that when we get to, talk about a new movie together. And usually we'll kind of like maybe make it part of our opening thing, but this one definitely deserves the big episode. So
Hmm.
we're gonna go ahead and talk about our fun trailers and everything first up, but then we'll talk about Fantastic Four after that. Um, but I did go see another movie this week besides Fantastic Four.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, and it was part of the AMC Scream Unseen thing. And basically, what they do is they put it out there. Hey, we've got an R-rated horror movie that's this long. They give you the running time, and the
Hmm.
running time's not exact. They do it to kind of throw you off because they don't want you to exactly figure it out.
They do that at our
Um,
theater too. They call it a
yeah.
mystery movie night, and they
Oh,
charge
okay.
$5 to go in, and then you don't know what
Yeah,
it they do the same thing. They give you the rating and they give you the runtime, which is usually not
that's
right.
cool.
So what was it that you got to see?
So I was hoping it was going to be the new um, movie Together,
Mhm,
but it wasn't that, which I was disappointed. And because I was like, people were like, "Oh, it's probably this one," which was called The Home with Pete Davidson,
mhm.
and I was like, "Oh, I hope it's not that one." It was that one. So,
Sorry.
but here's the thing. It was actually okay. It wasn't great by any means, but it wasn't bad. So he's like this guy who is like when he was a kid, his older like he's part of a foster family, and his
Mhm,
older foster brother goes off to college. But shortly after going off to college, the older brother dies. And so it kind of sets him on a path of like delinquency after that. And by this point, he's an adult, and he's out tagging someplace doing a big old spray paint mural, and then gets arrested. um his foster dad then is like, hey, I talked to the judge, they're going to give you community service, but you got to go work as the super in this old folks home. And so that's where the whole setup is. He goes to this old folks home, and weird shit starts to happen. um and so I'm gonna leave it there. But it was kind of cool because there were some recognizable people in the movie, most specifically John Glover, um, who people might recognize as being, if anybody's a nerd like me, he was on Smallville for quite a while
Lionel
as
Luther.
Lionel Luthor, yeah, and and he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Scrooged and
Mhm.
things like that. He's been in a ton of stuff over the years. Um, but he's not the only person in it, but it's interesting too because there's a twist, there's a thing that happens, they kind of there's a thing that like there's an explanation for what's going on, and you're like, okay, that seems plausible, but then there's a twist on that and it becomes something way different. And it was actually like, I was like, okay, I'm actually okay with this is a weird ass movie. It doesn't there's no it Pete Davidson's playing it straight the whole time, which kind of
Mhm.
throws you off because you're expecting, there's a couple of jokey moments, but for the most part, he's playing it straight. I think it would have been more interesting maybe as a horror comedy, um, if you could have played up some of the laughs a little bit
Right.
more. But I think overall, I think it was well done. Um, and I was literally the first person to do a review on it. There was no other reviews on it on Letterboxd. Um, and so I was just like, I'll put out a real quick review on it because I don't do really complex reviews like some people do.
It's so
Um,
funny too because I had been meaning to bring that trailer up, for a couple of weeks, and I just whatever something bigger would come up, and I would wanna talk
Yeah.
about that, and I would
I
just put it
never
down.
I never saw a trailer for it or anything. It never
Yeah.
popped up.
I did see a few, I saw a little teaser trailer, and then I saw another trailer. When I saw the fuller trailer, I made notes about it, but then, of course, something else
Right.
outshined it for the week, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just talk about it next week." And I think it's funny too that they had 2 movies, 2 horror movies that were based in nursing homes. They have that, and then The Rules of Jenny Penn.
Right.
I don't know whether people are just afraid of old people or what the
Right.
deal is, but it is kinda creepy. I mean, in nursing homes, I that is a creepy setting that most people
Well,
probably don't think about, you know?
yeah, I mean, you've got people who like, they're at the end of their lives and their their mental faculties are going, and then there's people who are dying constantly in there. So I can see where like
Mhm.
that would wear on you as just in general as a normal person, and
Right.
then like to then tack on we other like actual weird stuff going on in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would tip it over. So I can see where it would be an interesting setup, and it was for this movie. So um definitely don't want to get old like that. So um at least the dementia old.
Right.
Um but yeah, no, but it was a decent movie, and so that was the first time I've ever done one of the mystery movies, the Scene Unseen or Scream Unseen or whatever. Um so that was the first time I'd done one of those, but I was like, oh, I'll take a chance. Might as well. I went by myself because Katrina was afraid it was going to be together, because she doesn't want to see that movie. She doesn't like
Mhm.
body horror, and and together is very very definitely body horror.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Um, yeah, I'm on the fence about whether or not I'm gonna go or not. Like it may be a wait to watch later movie, but I might go just because there's might be nothing else. I've already got my tickets for Weapons. Um, I've got a ticket for Weapons. I've got a ticket for Nobody 2. And then I've got my ticket for Prince Sign of the Times in IMAX. So
That's gonna
uh,
be so fun. Oh my
it's gonna be
god.
a lot of fun. Yeah. Apparently, was it like I mean, it's the first time I'm sure it was on theater screens in 1987 when it came out.
Mhm.
This is like the first time and the first time in IMAX.
And
So
IMAX, yeah.
yeah, so it'll be cool. So, but yeah. That's what besides Fantastic Four, which we'll talk about later. That's the only other movie I saw. Um, so we can go ahead and start with you. What are you bringing me today?
Oh, yeah. So, I just saw the first trailer for a film that is called No Other Choice, and it's
Hmm.
directed by the director who made Old Boy. It's definitely a dark comedy horror film. And basically, the plot of this one is after a man has been unemployed for several years, he devises a plan to secure a brand new job that he had an interview for, and that plan is to kill the competition. There are 6 other men who are as qualified as he is, and he plans to pretty much take them out so that he is gonna get this job.
Hmm. All right.
And it looks very dark, but it also looks very funny. There are a lot of mishaps that happen in this trailer, and I just thought, "Oh, I'm gonna be laughing and going, 'Ooh,' at the same time." But it looks like it'll be a lot of fun, but it is called No Other Choice, and you should definitely
Okay.
check it out.
I do like me a dark black comedy like that. Like The Monkey for me this year is still my top horror movie. It's gonna be kind of hard to unseat that,
Mhm.
um, because it's just like it was just like the completely right pitch for me. Um, and so yeah, I'll have to check this out. So very cool, very cool. Um, all right. So there was a new trailer for Predator Badlands that came out.
Ooh, that was on
Um,
my list too, so I'm glad you're talking about it.
um, yeah, it looks good. Oh man, I'm like the other one felt like a teaser, and I think it might have been a teaser. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But this one this one's a full on trailer. You get to see more of Elle Fanning's s- uh, synthetic, much direct reference. She's definitely a Wailing Utani
Mhm.
synthetic. So because like you get that right, the first thing you see in this trailer is her with her eyes with this Wailing Utani symbols and everything, just clear as
Mhm.
day. So definitely, I love that they're making this connection more uh, explicit. That definitely Predator and Alien exist in the same universe still, and they're just gonna keep just crossing it over. So I'm here for it.
I'm super
Um,
excited for this because this is the
yes,
buddy, uh, franchise buddy
right?
sci-fi franchise we probably did not know we needed. This is the best melding of these 2 franchises
Yes.
as far as I'm concerned. Make all of them like this because the commercial is hilarious. I mean,
Oh, it
the
is.
trailer is hilarious with her being a synthetic on the back of this this
Yeah.
predator and just kind of helping him throughout this whole thing. I think we should always have a buddy cop scenario, but a sci-fi buddy kinda romp,
Right.
this is gonna be a good one. I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, same. I'm very excited for this. Um, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's gonna be they're gonna make a great combo together. Um, and her being like half like because you see it like at one point he picks her up and like her
It's
whole
like
bottom half is
basically
gone. Um,
C-3PO on his
yeah,
back.
and which is what he is directly referencing. I guess somebody asked him, and I saw somebody asked him, and said he said yes, that is directly a
Yeah,
reference to Chewbacca carrying C-3PO
I was
in The Empire
smiling the
Strikes Back.
whole time when I saw that. I could not tell you how excited I am. Oh
Oh,
my
I'm so
goodness.
excited for this. Dan Trachtenberg, the director of this, directed Prey, which is on Hulu.
Mhm.
For everybody who hasn't seen it, but Prey is one of the best Predator movies ever. And you should also watch Predator Killer of Killers as well, which he was also like co-director of. Because Dan Trachtenberg is the new Predator guy, man. He's
Yeah, he's
like
the best thing to happen to this franchise,
oh,
and,
absolutely.
he directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, and I wasn't a
Yes.
huge fan of that. I'm not a big fan of Cloverfield stuff anyway, but,
Yeah,
he is just he's the breath of fresh air that they needed to revitalize this franchise, and everything he touches from this point has just been solid. It's just been he has not missed.
agreed. Oh, agreed. Absolutely.
And this isn't even
Yeah.
my favorite sci-fi franchise, and I am telling you guys, he does not miss. He
No,
just
he does
just
not. Like, if you didn't care about the Predator before, like, watch these movies because you will be very entertained by
and
these.
it's amazing to me that this has not been touched before. Like, he's touched on something that we've always talked about, you and I have talked about, that just make it a world-building experience because
Yeah,
why wouldn't the Predator be in different time periods? Why wouldn't there be different tests? Different worlds. Why have we been waiting? Why are they waiting till now? I
right.
mean, I really don't care. I'm glad that we have the right person that's helming this because it's good. This is good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I argue that pretty much all the Predator movies have been decent, you know,
I like them.
yeah. Which is great, but the like he has elevated it to a new level for
Mhm.
sure. Absolutely. So, um but yeah, uh Predator Badlands, check it out. November, I think is what they said. So, what's your next thing?
So my next thing is teaser trailer for Silent Night, Deadly Night that is coming out this December.
Oh, I did not
Oh
know that.
my goodness. It looks
Okay.
amazing. Um, it has a very retro feel. It takes a lot of the beats from the original 80s
Interesting.
version. If you see this teaser trailer, you're gonna wanna go.
Well, yeah, because I've been covering these. I've covered
Yes.
every single one of them on my show with the
I
kids.
fully expected you to already be on top
No,
of
I
this.
didn't even know about this. Oh,
See,
look at
this is
that
why you
official
have
trailer.
me. This is
I
exactly why you
do,
have
yeah.
But even the way that
Excellent.
they have the grading in the trailer, the work in this trailer looks retro, and it has a very cool campy feel to it. I think you'll love it. I'm not a fan of the guy who is playing, Billy. He was Corey in the Halloween reboots. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I don't hate him, but he's not my favorite actor. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch it. I am gonna watch it because this one actually makes me feel like they hit the pulse of being retro and making it fresh and still keeping all of the beats from the original. So
Okay.
definitely check out teaser.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right. Yeah, I had not heard about that at all. So I didn't know they were rebooting it. So next up I have there's a new trailer for The Long Walk. The Stephen King
Yes.
based on the Stephen King story, directed by Francis Lawrence, who has directed all but the first Hunger Games movies, and Constantine. So he knows a bit about making horror and about killing kids. So um, loving Mark Hamill's heel turn
Mhm.
lately, which apparently I read something recently too that that has to do with he had all but pretty much decided he was going to give up regular acting and was just going
Mhm.
to do voice acting. Um, but I guess when Mike Flanagan reached out to him to be in the Fall of the House of Usher, that that and made him a bad guy in that gave him kind of like a new lease in acting. So he's loving his new turn as bad guys. Which I'm like, dude was the Joker in the animated series. Like, you should have been playing bad guys all along, man. You're
Exactly.
good at it. Um, but yeah, so this one, I mean, this one doesn't really tell you much else. It's just, kind of like a broader um trailer.
That
Kind
movie's
of,
gonna be brutal. People are not
oh, it's
ready for
gonna be,
this.
no, they are not. Yeah, no, but it's gonna be good. It looks good. I love the cast, looks good, all the
Mhm.
kids. So I'm excited for this. Just we're getting two Richard Bachman, Stephen King, Richard Bachman adaptations in the same year between this and the new Running Man. I'm so
Mhm.
excited. So excited.
Yeah, I'm beyond
So
excited for that one. Oh my god.
oh no, yeah. The Running Man by Edgar Wright is like everything to me. Like
Mhm.
I'm telling you right now, that is the movie. Like I'd been waiting for a book accurate version of The Running Man, and as soon as they said Edgar Wright was doing it, I was like, "Oh my God." Like that's brilliant. That was like the most brilliant decision ever. So, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, new trailer for The Long Walk. It looks good. It looks
Yeah,
good.
it
I'm
looks
excited.
fantastic.
So, all right, what you got next?
So next is a trailer out for Five Nights at Freddy 2. I
Yes.
am all ready to see this. My daughter went and saw the first one in theaters. I did not. I waited until it was streaming. I'm not missing this one. I had way too much fun
Yeah.
with Five Nights at Freddy. It was just
I I thought the first one was okay. I didn't
Mhm.
love it, but I thought it was okay. Um and but this trailer looks good.
Mhm.
And obviously Matthew Lillard is coming back for the second one.
So
And
Skeet Ulrich
I saw
apparently.
that Ski Ulrich was in this. Yeah. So we get Billy and Stu back together again.
Plus, I'm loving this
So
for Josh Hutcherson. I haven't seen him do
yeah.
anything since The Hunger Games, and this is a really nice role for him, I
He
think.
had he had an interesting like a funny like Hulu show
Mhm.
called Future Man that was a lot of fun. I only watched like
Really?
the yeah, it's a time travel comedy thing. It's wild. It gets weird. It's definitely worth a watch. I think Seth Rogen was one of the producers on it.
Oh, okay.
So that says a lot. Um, but yeah, check that out if you get a chance
Yeah,
because
he's one
it
of
was
those,
funny.
child actors that kind of
Yeah,
did really well for himself. You didn't really hear any scandal too much about him or anything. He
yeah,
just kinda kept his head down and then kept working. So,
exactly.
this one
Yeah,
looks like a lot of fun.
it does.
I really enjoyed the first one more than I thought I was going to. So I'm seriously
Oh
excited to
yeah,
see
same.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I liked it more than I thought I would. I didn't think I was going to care at all. And one day I was just like, okay, I'll watch it. And then I watched it and I was like, okay, this is actually better than I thought it was.
Hmm.
I didn't love it, but I was just like, it was better than I thought it was. So,
Right.
um, all right. Um, so there's a new Peacemaker season 2 trailer. There was a teaser before. This is the full trailer. I love this show. It's so dumb. I'm all aboard for James Gunn's wacky worlds.
Hmm.
Um, both Guardians of the Galaxy, and all this Suicide Squad stuff and his new Superman. They're all great. They're all, there's all these um underlying like deep emotional stuff going on in
Hmm.
all in his work, that you just like sure he makes all these bad taste jokes and stuff at times, but at the same time they always have a core heart to them as well. And that's you can even see it in this trailer. Just John Cena's Peacemaker character is just trying to be a better hero, and uh, nobody wants him to be. So, but it looks good. It looks hilarious. The breakout for me, for the first season was Vigilante, the actor who plays Vigilante. He's so good at doing that. It was such a weird, fun character. Have you
I
seen the
have
show?
not, and
Oh my God.
I actually have to binge it before this new season starts
Yes.
because I've watched Creature Commandos, and
Yes.
I
That's a good show
figured,
too.
yeah, oh my gosh, it's so much fun. So I
Yeah.
figure I need to get on Peacemaker before this second season because my son has been hounding me to watch it, and I was like, okay. So after I saw this trailer, I was like, okay, I probably shouldn't watch this trailer because now I really got to watch this show.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, and this picks up too from things from Suicide Squad,
Hmm.
and from um and I think the character that Frank Grillo plays both in Peacemaker season 2 and in Superman is the character he voiced in Creature Commandos.
Hmm.
So yeah, so should be a lot of fun. It looks great to me. I'm on board. So I can't wait for you to watch first season. You'll have to let me know what you think.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll end up
Yeah.
binging it in like one sitting because that's how
Yes.
we do
Oh,
at
it's
my
so
house.
good. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch Suicide Squad and season 1 again before this new season pops up too. Because yeah, I gotta refresh myself because it was
Hmm.
hilarious. So all right. What's your next thing?
So the last thing I have isn't a trailer. It's actually some movie news. I know that you're not a big fan of the Crossed graphic novel series that Garth Ennis started, but
I just haven't read them yet. So
okay, well,
yeah.
they're not for the squeamish. I'm just letting everybody that's
Yeah.
listening know now. It's really graphic, and when I say graphic, it's really it's horrifically
Yeah.
graphic. But Rob Jabaz, who directed The Sadness, is now actually making this crossed movie, which is
Oh, okay.
basically what The Sadness is based on loosely. So I'm ready for this. It's going to be gross. We're going to be traumatized. If you don't know what I'm talking about, educate yourself. Don't dive into these comics. And if you haven't
Yeah.
seen The Sadness, just know it is really brutal. It's probably one of my favorite things. That's weird to say as a mom of four, but but it is one of my favorite graphic novels, because it is just the most depraved thing that you could anything that you could think of is probably in these comics. And the world is infected, and we have this virus that makes people have no inhibitions at all, and I mean at all. So it is extremely brutal. It's violent. There's a lot of essay. I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. But
Yeah.
the fact that he's gonna go ahead and go forth and make a movie, which I never thought I would ever see. The Sadness is probably the closest. So if you've seen that, that's what we're in for. I'm assuming times 10 because he's actually going to do the comic that he wanted to do. But
Yeah.
that's the news that is actually it's actually in post production. I think they've already wrapped up filming. So I
Yeah.
don't know when it's coming out, but just be forewarned, it's not for the faint of heart.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, just was looking at that while you're talking about it. Yeah, and I guess Garth Ennis actually wrote the script for it too,
Mhm.
so that'll be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I've only heard what you've told me about. I've never read the comic book, but um just based on what you've said about it, just it seems crazy. So
It's nuts. This is it's nuts. I've collected almost every volume of it, and I probably should have waited and just got an omnibus just because my
yeah,
copies are falling apart because I've read them so much. But yeah, this is
that's crazy.
definitely gonna be something either it's gonna get heavily censored or they're gonna have
Oh yeah.
an unrated version when it comes out.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna get away with half of this stuff. I'm interested to see how they do it.
Oh yeah. No, they probably definitely had to scale it back some at least. So all right. I still have at least four more things to talk about.
Okay.
So real quick, there's a new documentary coming out from the makers of the In Search of Darkness stuff. They're producers on it. It's called Slasher Trash.
Oh my god, I cannot
Um,
wait. I love
so this
slashers.
yeah,
So
so this I like I love slashers too. And so I'm definitely gonna get this. I gotta wait till I get a little bit more money
mhm,
before it goes away. But I definitely want to grab it while it's it's I can still get the collector's edition version. Um but it looks like it's going to be more about all the side stuff, the like the
mhm,
direct to video and the made in the backyard style slashers. The stuff like the shot on video stuff of the 90s. So it's gonna be probably a lot of stuff I don't know about because I didn't tend to watch a lot of the um low budget stuff. Um but it looks interesting. I'm excited to check it out. I love the documentaries they make. I've been getting them all since basically the first one. Um, and I pretty much always um, do these so I can get my name in the credits.
mhm.
So, but yeah, looks good. Good trailer. Looks really interesting. So, next I have there's a full trailer for the movie Good Fortune, not horror. It's a comedy. Um, Uh, I think it's written and directed by Aziz Ansari, which he also stars in.
Mhm.
But it's also got Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen. And in it, Aziz Ansari plays this like down on his luck guy whose life is really going nowhere. And meanwhile, Seth Rogen's character is like this rich guy making lots of money and then Keanu Reeves comes to be he's Aziz Ansari's guardian angel, but he's not a very good guardian angel. But he ends up swapping their lives, and Aziz Ansari gets to be rich and famous, where Seth Rogen just ends up getting to do like all the shit work and everything
I
like
feel
that.
like there's
So
somebody else in this movie, like Kiki Palmer. I know I
yes,
read
Kiki Palmer's in it as
Kiki is
well.
in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. There's a few other people I just couldn't remember people. So thank you for reminding me of that. But yeah, Kiki Palmer's in it. It looks good. It looks funny. Looks like it's gonna be raunchy. From um like the earlier trailer. So
Mhm.
there's definitely gonna be so it's good. I like we haven't gotten a lot of good like it seems like we're kind of getting out of the really fun over the top comedies like this
Mhm.
now. There's not a lot being made anymore, which is unfortunate. So hopefully, this will help kind of spur some of them back.
Right.
But it looks good. So I'm interested in checking it out. So the last trailer that I have to talk about is for a video game actually, for Hellraiser Revival. Um, I'm not a Hellraiser fan in general. I like
Mhm.
the last movie, the one that came out on Hulu. That's probably the one I like the best out of
Right.
all of them. Um, the first two movies are the only other ones I've seen, and they're okay. I don't love them. They're okay. They're fine. But this video game looks interesting. Very adult. There's nudity in it. Um, there's it looks like there was sex going on, like not like X-rated sex, but like
Mhm.
R-rated sex at least from the trailer. And but lots of blood and gore as well. Very befitting Hellraiser. So I mean, they took the concept of Hellraiser and actually, from what I've seen, I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but you know, just from the trailer, it looks
Mhm.
interesting. So, um, but yeah, I was just like, okay, this looks interesting enough to warrant at least checking out once it comes out, and if I hear good things about it, maybe I'll get it. But based on what I've seen so far, it looks interesting, looks
Oh, I'll
good.
have to check that
So
out.
yeah, I will link the trailer. But yeah, no, it's very interesting. So if you like Hellraiser, definitely check it out. The last thing I want to talk about, and you brought it up last week when we were talking about all the Humble Bundle comics and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I had told you about one of a while ago that had this book called Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees,
Yes.
and you said you read it. And so last night before I fell asleep, I was like, I want to read something. And then I was like, let me read this real quick because I wanted to be able to talk to you about it. I love this. This was fucking good. Like I can see where all the acclaim, and this is the reason why I even bought the bundle to begin with. There was other good things in it, but like
Mhm.
this was the main reason I bought that bundle. Because of this one book. It's fantastic. It's so good. It is literally like the artwork is literally out of like Richard Scarry
Mhm.
style books and everything. Um, but it has to do with a serial killer in a small town who doesn't kill in their small town, and because they don't want to disrupt it and bring attention to themselves. And then somebody does do that, and then they have to figure out who it is to stop it and everything like that, so that the attention gets off of them. So it was so good. I was like, I hope they make a movie out of this,
They need to make a movie out of this. I wanna do
like an
Sam
animated,
Strong's voice.
a
I do because I love this character so much.
yes,
It's weird, you guys, and we're sitting here talking about it. It's like watching Dexter, but in that Richard
yes,
Scarry world. That's
yeah,
the perfect way that they summed it up, and it makes perfect sense because she only has this one rule: you don't murder the locals. She wants
yes,
to keep her small town the way it is, a small town with everybody knows their neighbors, nobody locks their doors. She goes somewhere else to do her deadly business, and then she comes home.
yeah.
And I
And she's
want
like a
to see
pillar of the
she's a
community,
pillar of the
and
community,
like
everybody loves her, she
everybody
has a
loves
local
her.
store,
Yeah,
um, everybody's thriving in this community, and she doesn't fuck with that, and somebody starts fucking with it, and it's not good. Um, yeah, we 100% need to see an animated film about this.
yes, yeah.
I don't
I
know
don't want
who's
live
gonna
action.
be.
I want an
No,
animated film.
we want it animated, and
You know
Donna
what
wants
would
to do a
be,
voice.
you know what would be, you know what would be, I think, like I don't, I don't think he's right for directing it, but I think the the stop motion animation style of like Wes Anderson
Oh my
would be
gosh.
interesting
Yes.
for like that, like the
Oh
Fantastic
my
Mr. Fox, Isle
gosh.
of Dogs style of stop motion would almost
Right.
be perfect for it.
Yeah.
So, I don't think he should do it because it's like, not that he's, you know,
No, I don't think he would do it anyway. I think we
I
we
don't
need
think so
somebody
either.
that has that kind of vision, but
Yeah,
it's really great. There's a prequel that's coming out or that came out
no,
this
it's a
month.
sequel.
I think it's a prequel.
No, it's set after the events of the first one. I've already looked at it. Um,
Ah.
yeah, so yeah, it's set like 6 to 8 years after the events of the first one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so yeah, no, it looks
Oh,
it's
I'm looking
good.
I know what I'm seeing. It's the San Diego, Comic Con. They did have a one-off prequel
Oh, okay.
about her. That's what I was thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Either way,
Cool.
the sequels that are coming out, they've had a couple of the covers come out, and they, have, like, one that looks like the cover for American
Yeah, I
Psycho.
saw
I
that.
got oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I love this so much. I hope he keeps the
Yeah.
series going for a while just because it's so good. You got seriously, this is probably
Yeah.
it's a the serial killer thing, the angle on that is great. The murder mystery of trying to figure out who is murdering these people in
I
the
love the
community.
world because it's like it's so interesting too because it's like they're all animals. They're all
Mhm,
anthropomorphic, but
mhm.
they all eat meat. And there's actually like it's so funny too because she's an anthropomorphic bear, but like she's in the woods at one point and there's a real
And
bear.
there's a real bear.
So it's like, what is this world? Like, how are there real animals, but there's also anthropomorphic animals too? So
Yeah,
it's just like this weird, bizarre world, and I love it. It's just
this
it.
is brilliant. It was
It's
brilliant.
so good.
Please, if both of us need to keep our eyes peeled, because I really do feel like they will make a movie or a
Oh
series
yeah.
about this. It's just too good to not touch that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think. Yeah, for sure. I think somebody will end up getting a movie made of it. So, all right. Well, that's all I had for this week. That's quite a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, it was actually like I was actually surprised, and you actually brought so many other things that I didn't even weren't even on my radar either. So
Yeah, that's why we
gonna
do
have
this.
a yeah, gonna have a very lengthy link section in the show notes this week. So check out those if you want to see any of the trailers and stuff. I'll have all of those YouTube links in there. So but yeah, why don't we go ahead and transition over to talking about Fantastic Four First Steps.
Sure.
I love this. It was so good. It was fantastic to use to be silly and use that word. It was fantastic. It was the only problem I had with it, and I saw people had various
Mhm.
small issues with it. Some people complained about the CGI, and I'm like, my eyes must be old because I'm not seeing the problem. Or if there are problems with the CGI, my brain just doesn't register it because I'm
Mhm.
just like, I'm not nitpicky that way.
Right.
Because trust me, the CGI is good enough that I didn't catch it, then that's fine. Because you go back and watch shit from the late 90s, early
I was just getting ready
2000s
to
and
say,
stuff
do
like that.
y'all not remember the X-Men movies or
Oh my
any of
God,
those
that
crappy ass
CGI
movies
was
we saw?
bad. Yeah. So yeah, no, anything happening today is like, I don't know. It sounds good to me. The only problem I had with it was in my theater, the audio seemed too low in parts.
Mm.
Like especially when they were talking to each other. Um in the quiet moments. And I was just like, I know I'm old and I know my hearing's probably going a little bit. It ain't going that bad. So so I'm like, please turn up the audio a little bit, or let me go watch this with captions. So,
Oh my
um,
goodness.
but yeah, no, other than that, like, oh man, this was so good. I was like, I knew it was gonna be good, just from the trailers and stuff like that, but I don't even know. It was just beyond what I thought it was gonna be even.
Mhm.
So, what did you think?
I mean, I agree with you. I when I posted that I saw this in theaters, I did say the exact same thing. I know it's cheesy and cliché, but it was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
this was the probably the best iteration of these characters that we've ever gotten. I mean, we got the backstory. Luckily, we didn't have to go through the whole rigmarole. They told it in such a great way, and we all felt like we were caught up. When we come in, they're already have these powers that we've already established what happened. Um, this was just so much fun. The retro futuristic look of this was perfect.
Loved the
Everybody
production design on this.
yeah, everybody brought what we needed, and I felt like I was seeing these characters for the first time, even though I've seen them done many times before.
Right,
This was fresh. This was a completely new way, and I felt like I was flipping through the pages of a comic book watching this movie.
right. I've seen people say the story was kind of like, not anything like out of the ordinary for them.
Mhm.
There was nothing really unexpected. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with a story that's kind of like, as long as the story's told well enough,
Mhm.
and the characters are fleshed out well enough. I could have used a little bit more with the characters and stuff like that. Would have been great to get to know them a little bit more amongst all this, but I feel like we got just enough with each of them. Um, and you got to see the invisible woman Sue. You got to see Sue Storm just being strong as all hell.
Mhm.
I love the part at the towards the end where she's just like pushing Galactus
Mhm.
back. My daughter was literally mouth agape at the theater when she was doing that. I was just like, I leaned over and I was like, yes, she is that powerful.
Yeah, she is.
um and that's the thing, like she's actually the most powerful person in the Fantastic Four, when she's used right. um but yeah, it was just, oh man, it was just, there were so many like great moments with everybody. I think Pedro Pascal pulls off Reed's um like uh obsession with trying to fix things,
Mhm.
because that's all he ever does. That's all he's obsessed
He
with.
wants to solve everything.
Yep, which is the title of a very famous recent, like in the
Mhm.
last 15 years, storyline by Jonathan Hickman, Solve Everything. um and so he that's what he does. He just wants to solve everything. And it to the and he works it all out, and he knows that even sometimes the idea is like, it, like they get into that argument midway through about, potentially sacrificing their son, to Galactus and everything like that. And she's like yelling at him, like, you've already thought of this. He's like, yeah, but I'm not gonna do it. He's like, you have to think of it. And so it's like, and like you have to, like, what is one life compared to a whole universe, like the whole planet, um but they figure out, but that makes them finally figure out how
Mhm.
to do it. And it definitely, I thought the ending was going to be different for sure. um I had a much downer ending in mind, that I thought they were actually going to do, but that they didn't do it, and I was very surprised. Um, so because it kind of sets things up differently than how I thought they would.
Mhm.
Just based on what we've already seen, like at the end of Thunderbolts. And so yeah, I have no idea where they're going with this, but just in terms of the movie itself, just I loved everything. I loved Ben's um storyline, even the little side bits with Natasha Leone. Um, that was great. Again, another time my daughter just was like, "What?" Because she loves Natasha Leone, and she was just so surprised to see her there, because I didn't tell her that she was in it. Um, and so yeah,
I
it
think
was
we
good,
all love Natasha Lyonne. She's
right?
amazing. I mean, how could you not? Now, I didn't. I'll be honest with you. I did not know she was in this. I saw her on the little blue carpet, and she was, doing all these pictures with Evan Moss Backrack, and I was like, "What? And what is she in this possibly?" I didn't want to look anything up. I didn't want to know,
Yeah,
and so I was very nice to see her. It was odd to see her because I was expecting her to have Charlie hair from like
right.
Poker Face,
No,
but
but she's got 60s
yeah,
hair.
she got 60s hair, which is nice, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody did
Oh, they were so
so
good.
well in this, and they fit like it's such a cohesive family unit. I love the fact that the family unit actually came across in this film with the 4
Yeah.
of them.
And I felt like they had the characters all good. Johnny was the hothead, of course, but they actually made him like smart in his own way and
Mhm,
stuff. Like everybody brought their own unique um talents to the team, and it wasn't just physical talents.
mhm,
It was their own intelligences, and they even made that something, um that they even mentioned it about how Reed doesn't know everything. There's things that he's super knowledgeable in about lots of stuff, but there's
right.
things he just doesn't know either. And I love that that's where other members of the family have that knowledge or whatever. So that's what makes them a great family and a great team.
It's definitely what makes him a great family because that's those are the people he needs to keep him grounded, to keep him
Yes,
focused, but also to let him know that, "Yeah, we've got your back. You may be the smartest person, but this is something we can help you with too." And
exactly.
he doesn't fault them for that. He knows it's not a dig, it's actually a comfort to know that he can rely on these other 3 people as much as they can rely on him. I
Right.
do love that scene, he's like, "Well, you don't know how to drive a car, you don't know how
Yeah,
to do."
exactly.
It's and I one thing I do love about the whole, intro to this film is that we get all of this kind of, TV news story about all of these villains, like the Mole Man
Yes.
and
Oh, I wish we could have seen more of them too. Because that was the interesting thing too, was if you saw one of the early trailers, John Malkovich was in it.
Yeah,
And his part was cut because he was the Red Ghost.
mhm,
So Red Ghost, that part where they're talking about Red Ghost
mentioning
sea
it.
grapes, you never see him as Red Ghost.
Mhm,
They cut his part out because it'd be weird if you just show him in this really quick cameo and then like you don't get to see much more of him. So unfortunately, like I guess with them cutting it and everything, and
mhm.
just his part got lost. But I would love to see more of those adventures with like the Mad Thinker and the Wizard. And like they mentioned it too. He's like,
Mhm.
oh, over here's the Wizard, and over here is Diablo. And I was like, oh, I was nerding out so much. I was like, oh my god, I want to see all these people. So, but yes. Yeah, I was so excited, especially Diablo. Diablo's got such a cool character design and like costume design. That would have been very cool. Um, but yeah, I was just like I was nerding out hardcore when they were talking about all that. I was
I
like,
can
oh my
imagine,
gosh.
I know.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was so good. Um, but yeah, I mean, even still, like the fact that they mention them all and that they're a team that's been around for 4 years at that
Mhm,
time, and so they've had all these adventures already, and it's just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, sure, I want to know about it all, and it would be great to do all that. Maybe we'll get like an animated series or something like that. Um, that would actually be kind of cool, like like an animated series of their adventures, like in this retro futuristic
mhm.
60s and stuff. That'd be a lot of fun. But uh it's just I don't know. It's just I love Marvel. Like it just it they're doing a good job, and I love that people are responding well to it overall. People seem to be going to it and talking about it and everything. We'll see. I don't know. I thought Thunderbolts was doing better than it was too, and it ended up being one of the lowest making movies of Marvel's history. So I was like, okay, then I don't know what's going on. So, but I just everybody was so good. Galactus, Ralph Ineson as Galactus. Oh man, so good. So good. And Julia Garner as Silver Surfer was really cool too. Um, like I didn't care about the gender flip, it was fine. It was still in keeping with the
Mhm.
comic books, since she was Shala Ball. Um, so I was here for it. It was really good. She did a great job. And just Ralph Ineson as Galactus, seeing Galactus full, big as life, just like
I
you'll
mean,
want
that
to
man's
want to
got
see
a
him.
cheat code for a voice. It's
Oh
just
man,
not even fair.
right?
He could
No,
read
he's
the
got the
phone book
perfect
and I'd be
Galactus
like,
voice.
"Please read more, sir." Perfect though. He did a
He did.
perfect job, and I agree with you. I really like seeing Julia Garner in this role. The gender part of it was not even a blip in my radar. Um,
Exactly.
and I love, the fact that Johnny felt like he had a moment with her,
Yeah.
but then, he kinda delved further into seeing what he could do to help. Um, that was an aspect that I really appreciated that they showed him actually trying to learn the language and figure out
Yeah.
how he could get her to help them stop this. It was interesting. You know, all of the comic beats, we had a dead crowd in our theater because a lot of the stuff that was hilarious, people weren't laughing, and I was like, "Am I not nobody's
Oh,
understanding the jokes or what's going on?" Um, I mean, there weren't a lot of jokey moments, but when there were,
Right.
we didn't really get a huge reaction out of the crowd that we were
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, I don't I think we got a few good reactions. I can't remember because I was so laser focused on it myself. But but no, I think we had good response. There was it was so funny too because like we had one person at the very end, like one person in front of us like clapped at the very end, and then we had a couple of smattering and claps at the end, which I always think is funny because it's like, why are you clapping? The people who made the movie can't hear you. Like I get you loved it and everything like that, but
I'm not gonna lie, I love the Clapping movies because 'cause I'm a dork, and I'm like, "Dude, I enjoyed the hell out of this shit."
I'm not saying I haven't clapped because I have, but I'm just saying it's been a while since I've
Come on
clapped
now,
because I'm
Avengers
just like,
Endgame, we were clapping and yelling like there
oh,
was no
ever,
tomorrow.
oh, oh man, you like, I'm telling you,
You
when he
couldn't even
picks up
hear
the
anything
hammer,
once those portals started opening.
oh,
Are you kidding me? We
no,
were all
that whole
freaking
last
out.
sequence from the time he picks up the hammer to the portals opening to Avengers Assemble to I
Right.
am Iron Man, yeah, it was over, man. Like
Between
that whole
clapping and
movie.
crying, we were like,
Oh,
so I'm one of those dorky ass
no,
people.
I
I
am
will
too.
clap.
I am too. I'm not saying it's like out of the ordinary, but I just think it's funny when people do.
Mhm.
It's funny when I do it. So, because I'm just like, I start clapping, I'm like, oh, they can't hear me. What am I doing? But it is a communal experience, and so that
Mhm.
is what's interesting to go to these movies is early, like when you can in the earlier showings, because you do get the more because that's the hardcore crowd, the people
Yeah.
who are there with you in these. Because I tend to go on Thursday nights, so the very first night, if I can go to the earlier screenings, I try to, like the fan event screenings, but I can't always go to those. They get packed up pretty quick. And if I don't catch them early enough, then I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll just go to the regular one. And that's what happened this time too, is I didn't get to go to the
Mhm.
fan event one. But yeah, no, those the Thursday night crowds, the Friday night crowds, the opening weekend crowds are usually the best ones to go
Mhm.
to. I like going on Thursday nights because it's usually less busy than on the rest of
On
the
the
weekend.
weekends, yeah.
So although this one was, I had to find a showing that was like not packed up in the
Damn.
section that I wanted to be in. So because I like sitting in the very back. Um, and so but yeah, I was surprised at how busy it already was. So but yeah, no, I love the 1-2 punch this year of Superman and Fantastic Four. We had
Mhm.
the first hero of the DC universe and we had the first heroes of the Marvel universe in the same month. It's like perfect synchronicity in a way.
Mhm.
Um, the return of all these characters in their new forms and everything. So I'm on board. I'm on board with this Fantastic Four. They're really good. It looks like based on the ending, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like because so by the end of this, so my theory had been that they do everything they can to stop Galactus, but in the end they couldn't. And then maybe they got off world and saved as many people as they could or whatever, but they get off planet and then they go over to another, they end up in the regular MCU universe. Um but because this was Earth 828.
Mhm.
And I want to come back to that. So remind me. But Earth 828. And in the MCU, they're calling it 616. It's not 616. I'm gonna punch people about it because it's not 616. 616 is the main comic book universe.
Right.
The MCU is 19999 or something like that. Um, me and Iman Vellani were on board with this. So she knows what's up. She's a comic book aficionado. Um, but so when they that was my theory was that they were going to get shunted over into the
Mhm.
main MCU universe, and that's how they were going to do it because Galactus destroyed their planet, um, and they had nowhere else to go. That's not what happens. They end up using this teleporter that he creates to teleport um, Galactus across the universe, um, to get him away from Earth, which is just like, a matter of time thing.
Mhm.
Um, so, but at the same time, and then Silver Surfer ends up helping to push him back into it and everything, um, which was interesting. Very echoing the original Fantastic Four storyline with Galactus, where um, his his herald, uh, Silver Surfer, betrays him to help the people of Earth, and then gets punished for it. But in this one, she goes into the void with him. Um, so hopefully she won't bring him back to Earth or whatever, because that's her job, is to lead him to planets to consume.
Mhm.
Um, so um, so we'll see what happens with that. But that, like I said, my theory got blown up in that case. So like now they're just on Earth, and on their Earth, and they saved it and everything's all right. So now I don't know how they get to the main Marvel universe, the MCU. So it's like, I mean, obviously something happens, and probably with what happens in the mid-credit scene.
Right.
Um, and so I think that's probably where that happens, but it's just like, it was just bizarre. So I'm just like, well, because at the end of Thunderbolts, we had that sequence where the Fantastic Four's rocket is coming in from an extra dimensional rift.
Right.
And so
And this one
um
ends completely differently
and this one
than
ends completely differently. So it's like, okay, so what happens between then and now? Because there's only one other movie between this and Doomsday that's on the schedule currently. And that's the next Spider-Man movie, and that's not going to have anything to do with this, because that's going to be, they said that's going to be a street level movie. Um, that's going to be Spider-Man and the Punisher dealing with stuff. Um, so it's going to be an interesting movie in its own right. But yeah, it's just, yeah, that was my theory, and it got completely blown to hell. So um, so I don't know. Let's talk about that mid-credit sequence real quick. Um, it's what, 4 years later.
right.
Franklin, their Reed and Sue's kid, is now close to probably somewhere between 4 and 5 years old now.
Mhm.
Um, and Sue's reading him a book, and she goes off to get a new book. And she comes back, and Franklin is standing up talking to somebody who's crouching near him, and always sees the back. I don't see anything else, but the person has taken off their metal mask, and they're in a green cloak. So, I mean, it's obviously Doctor Doom.
Mhm.
So, I really don't think it was Robert Downey Jr., because we never see his face. So we don't know. So that's the interesting thing about it too, is Doom in their universe Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom, or is it a different Doom? I think that's why they kept it kind of vague, is
Vague.
because they
Yeah.
maybe haven't decided yet. There's a moment earlier in the movie too, where they're talking about how Sue has become this like peace broker
Mhm.
in the world and everything like that. She's using her, ability to, just convince people to be peaceful to each other. Um, uh, and so, but there's a moment where they're panning across all the
All the
countries and
different
everything like that.
countries. Yeah.
And then there's a seat empty, and in front of it says Latveria, which is the country that Doom controls. So I thought that was a neat little fun bit as well, to reference him. But yeah, so I mean, I know that Doom is going to have something to do with things that are going on. Presumably, we haven't heard of anything about these incursions in a while, where the planets from different dimensions are colliding with each other. Um, but I'm hoping that is gonna come back up again. It was brought up in the last Doctor Strange movie. And that's what happens. That's what leads the Avengers to um, try to stop those incursions from happening. Um, that leads into the storyline called Secret Wars in the comic books. So I thought that's what they were going to be doing with this. I have no idea what they're doing anymore. They haven't mentioned incursion since. I have no idea what's going on. I know that they've talked about Secret Wars being a sort of reboot for the movies.
Right.
So and that after that point, that's when we're going to get the X-Men. And we're probably going to get new versions of characters that we've had before, like Captain America and Iron Man. So we're going to get new actors in those roles, presumably. Um, but I don't know. It's going to be weird. I really need more movies, and literally the only movies that are so far on the on the block going forward are the two Avengers movies and the Spider-Man movie. Um, so I don't know anymore.
Well, it's gonna
Um,
be interesting to see how it plays out. I too was like you. When I was in the theater, I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not what happened at the end of Thunderbolts, though.
yeah,
What are we doing here? What's going on?" Um, and it was interesting too. I felt the same way when we left the theater, and my son was like, "Well, this is probably a Doom variant. This isn't probably going to be Rob because otherwise they would have shown his face. They would have just straight up shown him." And I said, "Not necessarily. Maybe I
right,
don't know." Um, I think it's just the mess with your head, but we should have all felt that there was gonna be an appearance by Doom just because they panned to that country and there was no
right.
delegate there. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna be worked in and how they cross over. Clearly, Reed is gonna figure it out because he already figured out how to do this, with the whole events with Galactus, but I don't know. I overall, this film was better than I anticipated. I knew I would like it, but I didn't think it would be one where I would feel, and I say this a lot when I talk to you about comic book movies, where I would feel like a kid, like I felt like a kid watching
Yeah.
this. Um, the excitement of seeing these characters and being as near perfect as they could be, it was one of those things. However, I will say the battle scenes in this, the fight scenes where they're fighting with Galactus, out of this world. Um,
Hmm.
Reed was stretched to the point where, even his uniform was ripping, and I was just like, "Oh my god, is he gonna die?" I know he's not because it's a superhero movie, but, I felt literal peril for this man. It was interesting. He just kept pulling and pulling like taffy. Um and like you said, we get to see how strong Sue really is. We never get to see the bulk of her strength. They always want to just make it feel like she puts her hands up and there's a force field and that's it.
Right.
You know, there's so much more that she can do. Johnny, could literally extinguish this whole planet if he could take all of the oxygen if he really wanted. But they never
Right.
really show you the what they're capable of. And I thought this was a perfect film to showcase exactly how powerful she is and also
Hmm.
how her demeanor, how much she can sway people just by being her true self. Like going out to this crowd who wants them to just give up their baby, like give Galactus the kid. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sacrifice my child for the world, but I'm not gonna sacrifice the world for my child either. And I love Vanessa Kirby for this because she makes such a perfect Sue, she's
Hmm.
well-rounded, she's got that mama bear tenacity that comes through when she's fighting for her child. She knows how to make Reed very level and grounded. She's comforting. Clearly, she's, brokered this deal between the mole man and, everybody else
Yeah.
to where they can go down to Subterranea and he's, able to keep all these people safe. Um, yeah, this film was great. She was one of my favorite parts of it. And I'm typically always cautious when they have Sue just because they never get
Yes.
her right. That's how I feel about Storm. Like, I hope they can finally get Storm or
Yeah.
Rogue. Some of these women that they have in Marvel, they need to cast the right person. And I feel like she
Yeah.
embodied so much of what Sue is from the comics in this rendition.
Yeah.
Um, and I know you said you wanted to go back to Earth 828 because I don't want to forget
Yes.
that.
So that was an interesting one. I didn't realize it. And it was because it wasn't explicit in it originally, and it wasn't
Mhm.
until the very end that I think it was in the credits. And it said something about it said Jack Kirby, um, and it said his birth date, and it said 8/28, whatever the year was that he was born.
Aw.
And I was like, oh my God. I that like that really warmed my
That
heart.
is so
Yeah.
sweet. We also caught
Because
the Stan Lee-isms because the name of the rocket was the
the
Excelsior, and I
Excelsior,
thought that
yeah.
was so sweet.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love the homages to both of them because, it's just like, and that's the thing. Like Stanley gets so much credit for
Mhm,
creating the Marvel Universe, and he was the face of it for so long and everything. And Jack Kirby, before even the MCU came along, he was already dead. Um, but Jack Kirby deserves, and in the comic book community, everybody gives him the proper credit and
mhm.
everything like that. But outside of that, because Stan Lee's presence and he was so big at like being
He was,
Stan
like,
Lee,
basically the embodiment of
he was
Marvel at
yeah,
that
he's the
point.
ambassador of Marvel, and so so I mean, but Jack Kirby was the artist and really the co-creator in so many ways. There was many of the books that they did together that Kirby was their true writer and true
Mhm.
storyteller, where they worked out the stories together, but it was through his pencils and everything like that that the stories really came alive. And so it was great to see him be honored that way.
Yeah, that is
Just
super
because,
sweet.
yeah, because it seems like he doesn't always get that kind of honoring. But yeah, it's just, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I like all of the little kind of homages that we get in this film too, like, Yancey Street. I mean, that's
Yes.
basically based on Jewish areas, and Jack Kirby is Jewish, so is Ben
Hmm.
Grimm, those
Well,
things matter.
there's a moment too where you're watching the movie, and there's these two guys in this office that go looking out a
The
window, and
Timely Comics, oh my
I
god!
didn't see it. Was it named Timely? I didn't see
Timely
it.
Comics, because that's what it
Oh,
was before it was
I didn't
Marvel, it was
see it. I
Timely.
didn't see the name. But I was like, oh, I bet you that's supposed to be Lee and Kirby. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, my
that's
son
cool.
nudged me, he was like, "It's
I didn't
Timely
see
Comics," and I was like,
I didn't
"What?"
see that. That's so awesome. I
Yeah, I
love
mean,
that.
those things are, you know I don't know. When you're a comic fan and you're little and
Yes.
you're reading all of these things and then you get to see them be fleshed
Oh,
out in front of your eyes. I'm so lucky that I'm a Gen X person because
right?
I grew up reading them and now I get to live. I get to be old enough to still have all of my faculties to a point. I
Right.
say to a point because I go into a room and I don't know what the fuck I came in there for, but
I've been doing that my whole life, so
to
it's all good.
that's the ADD and
That's the
ADHD
ADD.
talking.
Yep. Yep.
But, to see these things come to fruition and then see them done perfectly,
Oh
like,
man.
we've lived through the crappy comic book movies, and
Oh
now we're
man. I can't tell you what it is, like, but like I can't tell people who are younger, because people who are like my daughter, who've grown up in a world of comic book movies, that
mhm,
this is the dominant movie format for the last couple of
mhm,
decades, basically. And I get it. People are kind of like, okay, enough comic book movies. But you all don't understand that when we grew up in the 80s, there was nothing. And when there was something, it was bad. It wasn't good. It wasn't even good because nobody wanted to put movies into money into these movies. And so now that they're putting like billions of dollars into making these movies, like, millions, not billions. They're putting millions of dollars into making these movies, like, and making them the absolute pinnacle of
mhm.
what's out there. Like, it's on another level. So I mean, I'm just so happy that we have seen this shift. At least, like, to me, it's like when you're a kid like I was a kid in the 80s and I was a huge comic book nerd.
Mhm.
And that was my main thing. I've always just loved comic books. And I was, even in high school, I didn't give them up in high school. I was a known comic book nerd. And that was fine. For people that knew me, they were okay with me. Not that I didn't get picked on and everything I did.
Who
Um,
didn't?
but I'm just saying, like, like these days, like being a comic book fan, that's commonplace. Nobody
Yeah.
cares. You can buy, like, literally my shelves are filled with collected editions of stuff, even stuff that I bought when I was a kid and before, that I can now have on my shelf. That you didn't have that back in the day. You had to have long boxes filled with individual issues because they
Mhm.
weren't collecting them. Collected editions were few and far between. But I don't know, man. It's just like to see the world change in this way and to embrace comic books as a, and not just superheroes, but just in general, like all of them, to see them embrace
Mhm.
stuff. We were just talking earlier in the episode about the comic book Beneath the Trees, which is an amazing comic book that like has nothing to do with superheroes. The world I that's the funny thing about my shelves too, is like most of my comic books that I own physically, and even a lot that I own digitally, because
Right.
I read mostly digital now. Um, is independent stuff from Image, Dark Horse,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. I don't even read that much Marvel and DC anymore because like I've moved away mostly from superheroes. Um, and when I do read superheroes, it's usually stuff even by those independent things because they're doing interesting things that isn't just the same old, same old. Um, Unfortunately, with DC and Marvel, they want to keep status quo. Don't they do good stories once in a while, and I'll read those. But by and large, nothing much is going to change, and so, which is fine. But I just love that we're in this world now where comic books are accepted,
Mhm.
they're popular. It is so funny going back and I was there was a podcast I used to listen to where a guy would interview um comic book creators.
Right.
And I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, those comic book creators were like, "Oh, I loved comics as a kid, but I put them away when I was in high school because they weren't cool." And then I came back to them later, like like either in college or after college
Mhm.
and stuff. And I'm like, "You guys suck, man. You guys should have kept with the comic books." But meanwhile, they're famous fucking comic book writers, and I'm not doing shit.
Don't
So
stop.
but no, I'm just saying, I just thought it was funny. But I mean, obviously they were like, oh well, let's put it away because we want to have girlfriends. I'm like, look, I had girlfriends in high school. So but
Try being a
you know,
black girl comic
oh,
nerd going to a comic book store and having every guy wanting to mansplain everything to you about
oh
every
my
character,
God.
and you already know everything there is to know about these characters. Like, a
Oh
dude
yeah.
tried to explain Wolverine to me, and I was like, "Dude, he is my favorite. I know everything about him. I know what issue of Alpha Flight he did. Don't start. Don't start with me, okay?" Um, Now, having said that, as we were saying, how the movies went from being
Yes.
complete and utter crap to what we have now, we also get a nice view of the original Fantastic Four, the very first
I
group of
didn't
people.
realize that until after
Yeah.
the movie. I was looking at the letterbox and I saw Jay Underwood. And he was the
Mhm.
only actor I recognized from the movie. So I was looking at that and I was like, wait, Jay Underwood was in this movie?
Yeah.
Um and so apparently all four of
All
the
4
actors,
of them
go ahead.
were in the
You
so the
tell it. I
Fantastic Four had a movie that came out in 1994. I
Oh, it
implore you
never came
guys,
out.
well, the
It was
year it
made.
was made in
Yes.
'94. If you want to, go to YouTube and check it out. I don't know if any of you have the stomach for it, but
Go watch. There's the Honest trailers. I watch Honest trailers. They're hilarious. Go watch the Honest trailers thing on the 1994 Fantastic Four. That'll tell
we
you all you need to know.
we actually have a bootleg of the I shouldn't
I
say that,
bought
but
a
we do.
bootleg like a long time ago on
Yeah.
VHS. I the whatever it was not on it. Like
Oh, no.
I bought a jank blue bought a bullshit bootleg. I was so pissed when it wasn't on there. I was like, what the fuck is this? So,
However, yeah, all 4 of the
well, I've never
original
actually seen it.
you ain't missing nothing.
No, I know.
But it's worth noting that the 4 people who originally played these characters in a film that was
The
never
first
released.
live action
Yes,
versions of them,
were
yeah.
all in this movie. I think 2 of them were reporters and news
Yes.
segments, and then the other 2 were, like, construction workers or something.
Yes.
So that was interesting as well. I don't think anybody has ever put them in a movie before, which is saying something,
I
but
thought that was great that
I
Matt
thought it
Shackman
was.
went back and was like, "Look, we're gonna put you in some roles if you guys want to do it." And I was like, that was so cool to see that they did that.
I
I
love when
was,
they do that. I
yeah,
love when they let people from previous movies or whatever it doesn't matter what it is, I just love seeing 'em.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, love this film from beginning to end. I had a lot of fun. I've seen some people say that they felt like it was a kind of a race plot, like they forced a lot of stuff in, but I feel like you some people you just can't make them happy. If it's too long, then they think it's
yeah.
too bloated. If it's too short, then they rush. I thought the pacing was good. I thought this was, the
Yeah, I
right
saw
amount of
people complain
time.
about the pacing, but I was like,
Yeah.
it was fine. Again, I thought it was going to be different, like just based on the trailers. I thought it was going to cover like a year, and it kind of did because
It
they
got
kind
yeah,
of
about 9
rushed through
months
the
or so.
pregnancy and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But that was fine. It made sense to do it in that way. So it just, yeah, I had no problem with the pacing or all the stuff that I've seen people complain about. I'm just like, like either it didn't bother me or like I noticed it, but it didn't bother me enough. I just
Mhm.
like, I don't know. I think people look for weird things to nitpick.
They do. They really
Sometimes I
do.
don't think everybody does. I think some people just they watch but I do think that people go in with a even if they're excited for it or something like that. I think they go in with this caution on
Mhm.
something because they are burnt out by comic book movies or Marvel movies in general or something.
I
And I'm
think
just
sometimes
like,
it doesn't live up to their expectation because they put too much into it, whereas
yeah,
you and I
exactly.
we go in cautiously optimistic because at best, at worst, we're gonna have an enjoyable movie. At best, it's gonna be
Right.
fantastic, and we're gonna enjoy everything about it, you know what I mean? I don't
Right.
the
Well,
movie-going
upon my
experience
first,
for me Go ahead.
yeah, good. No, no, no. I'm sorry. You were talking. Go
No,
ahead.
I'm just gonna say the movie-going experience for me is always different, it's always changing, so when I go in and I plunk my money down and I sit in the dark, I just enjoy the experience, and then,
Right.
when I get it on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, then I go and watch it again, and I'm probably gonna pull it apart and shit, but, for that
Exactly.
moment, I'm there to just enjoy this 2-hour ride that I'm gonna be on and let them tell the story and see what I think about the story, that's it.
Yeah. No, and that's how I feel too, is like, look, whenever I go watch a movie, I'm probably initially going to be excited about it. I'm going
Mhm,
to love the movie out the gate. Not every movie that I've been to where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a great movie. Do I come out and go, yeah, that was still great.
mhm,
But there are movies that I've definitely come out of where I've been like, oh, this is such a great movie. And then upon subsequent rewatches, then I'm like, oh yeah, this movie isn't as good as I thought it was. And that has definitely happened,
mhm,
including stuff from the MCU. There's
right,
definitely movies where I've just been like,
it was okay.
this is not so great the next couple of times I've watched it. Specifically like Thor the Dark World or Iron Man 2. They're still good movies though, but they're a little less so.
Mhm.
And that's even like with the Star Wars prequel movies. I love those when they first came out. I was huge hyped on Phantom Menace, but upon subsequent viewings, I've been like, oh yeah, this movie's really kind of terrible.
Right.
Um, and it's like, and that's my own personal opinion. If you like Phantom Menace like my son does, more power to you. I'm not going to take away from it from you. It's just not good for me. I like Star Wars. I like Marvel. Like this is what I always say about Star Wars, and this is how it's going to apply for Marvel as well. There's good and bad in
Mhm.
all of these. It doesn't take away my enjoyment of the whole. And I'm going to continue to watch every new thing that comes out for that stuff, if it's interesting. There's certain bits of Star Wars that I haven't seen. Like I haven't watched the Bad Batch TV show. Like I don't care about it. It doesn't interest me as much. But like everything else, I've been very much like, okay, like I'm on board for this. It's the same with Marvel. Like I haven't watched like what is it? I haven't watched the last season of What If, because the first two seasons were okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't love it enough to actually watch the third season of it. And so, but I try to watch everything. I try to go in with that open mind to
Mhm.
begin with, especially if it's something that looks good. But again, upon subsequent rewatches, I might change my mind. And I think that's good for everybody because that's for me, it works the opposite way too, is that if I go in to watch a movie and the first time I'm kind of like, I liked it but didn't love it, I'll generally try to watch it again and see if I still have the same feeling, or maybe I'll watch it and I'll like it more because that's happened too. And so I try to give everything at least a couple of watches. Um, so that way I know where my real feelings
Yeah,
lie
because
on it.
sometimes you're just not in the headspace or there's something going on
Exactly.
or, you're not focused. I mean, I felt that way about Jackie Brown. I was like, "I hate this movie," and now
Oh
I li
man.
No, seriously, because this is a short story, I promise you guys. I worked in the video store, we had gotten a trailer for it, like a trailer, videotape for it, and I brought it home and watched it, and I was just like, "I'm not really feeling this. This movie is kinda boring," and I felt that way for years until I revisited it, and then I was like, "Oh my
Right.
god, this is one of the best movies he's made."
No,
So
and I can totally see that because it's a hangout movie. It's a bunch of people just sitting around talking most of the time, and there's not a lot going on. And even when there is, it's, not very fast paced. So I can see where, based on having it was his movie right after Pulp Fiction,
Mhm.
I can see where people were just like, eh. But for me, like out the gate, I was like, oh, Jackie Brown, this is a fantastic fucking movie. I've loved it ever since, and it's been one of my favorite ever since.
Right, but I get
Um,
what you mean. You may
but
sometimes
yeah,
you may have to give it another watch to see if it's something that
exactly.
you like, if it's like, "Eh."
Yeah, no,
However, I
100%.
did not feel like this when I saw the Fantastic Four. That's all
No,
I'm gonna
no.
say. I
Yeah, same.
it was very, it was a fun time at the movies, everybody did their job extremely well. I felt like I've known these characters my whole life, which I kinda have, and to see
Yes.
them portrayed this way, it actually just made it even more solidified that these characters are so much more dynamic than people realize. I mean, I feel like we got to see what each of them really brings to the table in this particular iteration of the Fantastic Four.
I feel like the writing and the acting finally, like, not that the past ones, I've never seen the 2015 Fantastic Four, but like the earlier one, the earlier two that
Mhm,
had Chris Evans as the Human Torch and stuff, that one was okay. Um, they weren't great, but they weren't terrible either. I just feel like this one, between the writing, the acting, and all the production design and
mhm,
everything else like that, it just captured them perfectly. And I'm hoping that they can translate well into the MCU because I know they're all going to be in Doomsday.
right.
So I hope that they can translate well as well. I think it's a problem that sometimes the Fantastic Four, even in the comic books, has too. The Fantastic Four can have great runs when they get a really good writer on there. But it just depends on that writer. And so the character, it's really got to be this good mixture of a family first and foremost. They are
Mhm.
a family, having these wild cosmic adventures.
Yeah, and you're
Um,
100% right because if they don't have the right writer, then they paint themselves into a corner and you're
well,
kind
and
of
the
like,
right
"What?"
actors too that can make that family believable, that feels like they are really a family. And it's not just, Johnny being, a hothead jokester, and the Thing being this gruff, grumpy guy all the time, and Reed being the smartest guy in the
Yeah.
room,
The
and
way
and
the
and
way that Ben was in this film was so great
oh,
because he was
so
so
good.
fun with the kids and, you could clearly see there's a budding romance there, and
Yeah.
I
You
absolutely
could
loved it.
still feel the pain underneath though too.
Yeah, when he sees
Like just
himself on the TV screen and
yeah.
that's what he used to look like, it comes
It's
across.
it said so much without having to be
Mhm,
direct, you know. And it worked. Like everybody just felt so much like a family member, and their versions of these characters were so fully like defined, and they were still those characters, those not characters, but they were still those characters with those archetypes to
mhm,
them that we know and love about the Fantastic Four, but they were given that depth that good writers and in this case the good actors were able to bring across in a way that just I don't feel like they had been done up until now.
mhm. I love the fact
So
too that they, went into that plot point of Franklin being
mm,
more than just a mere
yes,
baby. Like the cosmic powers that this kid possesses, oh my god.
yeah,
It was something else. I was super excited to see that. At one point towards the end, I thought they were gonna do something that they did in the comics, and I'm glad they didn't because I was like, "Oh, they're not gonna do that right now, are they?" Um, I'll talk to you about that after this. But
okay,
but, yeah, I love the fact they touched on that. I love the fact that, you know, they were just like regular parents, they were obsessing over if this kid was gonna be okay, but even
yes,
more so because of what they've gone through and having been affected.
exactly.
So, this is gonna be interesting. Franklin is a very interesting character, so
Oh, very interesting. Yes. So yeah, yeah. If you guys haven't if you guys don't know anything about Franklin, definitely look into him because he is a fascinating character all on his own. Between just his abilities, his association with Power Pack back in the
Mhm,
80s, just all of it. Just oh man, there's just so much to delve into with Franklin himself. And in the comic books, he's only a teenager at this point. Um, so it's interesting for sure. I'm excited to see where they go with him
yeah, me too,
in the
actually.
movies. So, but yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have for this episode. Did you have anything else before we
No,
wrap it up?
I
Okay.
think we covered a good bit of what we loved
Yeah.
about Fantastic Four: First Steps.
Yes. And if you haven't seen it, why are you listening to this? It's already the end. Go back. It's too late to go back now. But yeah, go watch it. It's fantastic. Um, but yeah, why don't you let people know where they can find you online and what you have going on your podcast this week?
Oh my gosh. So I never know. It's what I've got going on. So let me tell you where you can find me first. I'm on Instagram, Blue Sky, not on Discord, but I'm on Discord. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, Donna underscore the THA underscore dead. I usually talk about mostly horror films and I try not to overstay my welcome. So usually they're right around 30, 40 minutes. But I've been doing Summerween series. So I've just been picking movies that I've been wanting to talk about. They're not really based on the summer. I just, we're halfway, like what, 100 now, 99 or 98 days till Halloween.
Yeah.
So Summerween was just a fun little tag, but I will be talking about something. I just don't know which one it is that I'm gonna upload yet.
All right. All right. Sounds good. Yeah, no, I've got after this listeners, we there is a series on M. Night Shyamalan movies that I'm doing next. And next week that's start kicking off with The Sixth Sense. So stay tuned for that. And that'll take me up until mid-October to complete. So then I'll finish out October with a couple of horror movies. Probably the rest of the year will be horror movies, but I think what I'm going to do for the rest of the year after that is do um, some movies that have come out over the last couple of years that I haven't covered yet on the show. Because I tend to um, most of the time cover older stuff.
Mhm.
Especially with these director things that I've been doing, um, or series. Like I've done all the like a bunch of the major horror series and stuff, but I definitely want to talk about some more of the stuff that I've loved over the last couple of years that we just haven't gotten into yet.
Oh, wow.
Um, so that's what the rest of the year will be. I can anticipate, depending on when that Silent Night, Deadly Night remake comes out, that could be this year's holiday horror episode with the kids. So, so we'll stay tuned for that. I'll have to look into that and find out when that's coming out exactly, and see if we can make that our holiday episode. So, I'm fingers crossed because that would be great.
Mhm.
Since we've covered all the other Silent Night, Deadly Nights. Um, but yeah, so stay tuned for next episode. Uh, start kicking off the new M. Night Shyamalan series. And until then, stay creepy. Thanks for listening. Creepy and Geeky is produced and hosted by Robert Clark. If you like what you've heard, please consider giving the show 5 stars and a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And share the podcast on social media to help spread the word. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app or at creepyandgeeky.com. You can follow the podcast by going to creepyandgeeky.com and clicking on any of the social links. If you'd like to follow me, you can find my links at geekthulu.com. You can support the podcast by ordering teas and more on TeePublic or by donating to the coffee page. All of the links are in the show notes. Finally, don't forget, stay creepy.